Hey everybody, I'm going to do a little, I suppose it is a yoga but with a difference today. I have just finished a run this morning and I'm decidedly stiff, and so what I thought I'd do was do a yoga today that is just more about just stretching, about going through the necessary stretches that we should, perhaps we don't do at the end of a run. And these are just things because it means that you can come back to this whenever you like, and perhaps you just want to do a bit of your legs, so you can just fast forward to that bit, or you just want to like do a bit but not too much. And so it just be about like going into positions and just holding those, and also working on transitional stretches as well, so sort of active recovery. And that's what I thought we could do today. So just a little bit of a difference. Obviously I still like you to try and breathe into your postures as much as you can, but just obviously feel it, just go with the flow a little bit more. So without further ado, we're just going to sit down, just sit comfortably really. Some people can sit like this, some people can't, so just be comfortable and just start off. We're just going to start first off just rolling your shoulders. So it's funny because we always think about our legs as being the thing we need to stretch, but how many times have you done like a race or been behind somebody that's been doing something for a while and they're doing this all the way around? So really important that we sort of start to activate that. So we just start moving one then the other, taking them both back to start with and just sort of feeling into it, and then take them forward. Then do one then the other. What do you say, sort of 2 or 3 on each side, and then we'll take both of them back. And it doesn't feel like a lot, it's just necessary. It's really good just to get the movement into your rotator cuffs as well. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to bring your arms out to the side, so taking your elbows out at a right angle, and just take your hands up to the sky. And then I want you to try and take your hands back as far as they'll go, and they may not go very far, but the idea is to try and keep the elbows in place but move your arms backwards towards the back of the room. Then come forward, come all the way forward, then take them back up. And then as you breathe out, take them back a little bit. Breathe in, take them down. Then we'll just do 3. Just sort of moving in to those shoulders. And then what we're going to do is bring your elbows together. Now this is accessible to some and not others, and you might just pop your one elbow over the other, and don't worry if you can't link them. And if that's not accessible to you, just bring one arm over, so right arm over, and just give yourself a cuddle here just to stretch into your lower back. If you can do that, lift your elbows as high as you can and just feel for that stretch in your upper back. And then bring your arms out, stretch them wide, and then bring your left elbow over right, and again stretching into the back of your shoulders. And again, you don't have to do it like that, you can just give yourself a cuddle, give yourself a squeeze, keeping your elbows nice and high. And just taking time with yourself here, just feel into your postures. So hands come down to the floor now, lift your heart, lift your chest. And what I want you to do is, however you're comfortable sitting, again, bring your hands behind you, interlink your fingers, so you're making like a fist position. Roll your shoulders back and down and just push your fist package down towards the floor behind you. You might be sat up on your shins, you might want to tuck your toes under now and just start giving the bottoms of your feet a nice stretch. I don't know about you, but probably one of my main things is the bottom of my feet always hurt. obviously run like an elephant. And then swapping your hands over. Again, interlinking those fingers behind your back, roll your shoulders back and down, and just give it a good stretch. And this is a really good one that you can do sort of any time. You know, it's like a socially acceptable stretch. Okay. Lovely. And we're going to just bring a little bit of a hip opener in. Now, sitting on your bottom, I appreciate that some of your knees are going to be like up like this here. And that's fine, doesn't matter where they end up. So what I want you to do is just bring your feet out in front of you, a little bit further away from you than you normally would, and then just bring your hands to your feet. And in the wall where between your heart and your head, in these postures, your heart will always win. So when I say to fold forward, I don't mean to roll round into your back, I mean sort of hinge forward from your hips. And what you'll find is as you hinge forward from your hips, and bear in mind you still might be up here, you might be a lot further down than I am. I am particularly tight in my hips. I'm not I feel I am at the moment, and I'm all right with that. So just literally just hinging forward from the lower back, and using your elbows, you can actually push into your knees here, and don't force it. So if it's feeling very uncomfortable, back off. Back off, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, relax into it. And you might just find you get that little extra millimetre there. It might not even be a lot, but just enough to sort of really just feel into that lower back. And you're going to walk your hands back towards you. Now listen to me here, taking your hands underneath your knees. Bring your knees together, bring your hands behind you now. So what we're going to do is you're going to just literally bring your knees into sort of a double right angle position here. So can you see that my left knee is in front and my right knee is sort of tucked into my left foot. And leaning back into your hands, I just want you to roll from side to side. And this is a really nice one just to sort of loosen out your back. Again, it's really good to do stretches and movements that feel nice, so that they don't become, oh, for God's sake, I've got to do that stretch, because you're never going to do that stretch that makes you sort of dread it. So it's really important just to sort of do things that feel nice. And this is another one, again, you might be sat on the floor in the sitting room or whatever, that you can just do when and wherever you want to. Lovely. Just do one on each side. Lovely. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to come up to a kneeling position. So again, all of this is just functional stretching more than it is yoga. Well, it's all yoga really, because that's what yoga is, but this is just a way of putting them together so that you feel a little bit more comfortable with the flow. So all we're going to do is take your weight into your right knee and step forward with your left leg, and start with an upright position. And again, you feel free to tuck your toes, and if it's uncomfortable on your knee, you can always get your mat and roll it, and then kneel on that, and that feels good to me today, so I'm going to leave it there. So tucking your toes is obviously going to open into the bottom of your feet, like your big toes. A lot of our shoes are pointed up at the end, so this is a nice thing to sort of get that stretching in the front of your, in the bottom of your feet, sorry. Pushing into all four corners of your front foot. Now you've been in that right angle, now come forward. But when you come forward, it's really important to maintain that upright position, lunging forward and pushing into your heel of your left foot. Lovely. Deep breath in, come back out of it. And as you breathe out, go back into it. Breathe in, come back out of it. Breathe out, go back into it. And each time you'll find that you'll get a little bit deeper. One more time on your own. Breathing in, breathing out. And now we're going to pull your hips all the way back. So pulling your hips all the way back, so the front leg is now going to come straight-ish, and I say ish because mine will probably only look ish straight. Keeping your back as straight as you can. Now if you struggle to reach the floor, a couple of soup tins, or if you're lucky enough to have some yoga blocks, then great. Put them underneath your hands, and then you can sit into that half splits, that Ardha Hanumanasana, that sort of hamstring stretch that none of us really want to be in after you've done a big event or a big hike or whatever, but really it's a necessary evil. So we just sort of go into that. And now we're going to transition from one to the other. So rolling up, lunging in, inhale, and as you exhale, pulling back, nice straight back, and sort of imagine like you're trying to fight your left heel against the floor, so you're using the floor as a sort of way of keeping that stretch on your hamstring. Inhale, rock forwards, hips forwards. Exhale, take it back, pull it back. And then we're going to come to the floor and just bring both your hands to the floor and step back. Lovely. And just for an in-between stretch, you're going to bring your knees as wide as they'll go on the mat, untuck your toes and push your hips back. And just sit on your heels for a second and just feel for that little stretch in your lower back. So just breathing in and breathing out. And if it doesn't feel good to you to sort of stay still, then I invite you to move around as much as you can. And just sort of going with it today. Okay, hands underneath your feet. And just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to turn around for you. So this time you're going to step forward with your right leg, I believe, yeah, right leg. And we're going to go through all that again. So starting again with your foot in a right angle position. Choose whether you want your feet tucked or untucked. And when you're comfortable here, and only when you're comfortable, bear in mind that you might want to take your stance wider, so have the right foot slightly wider. And then we're going to take it into that hip flexor and that heel as well, really digging down through that heel. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, come out a little bit, and breathe in, go in. So just by keeping moving in and out of the posture, you take a little less pressure. It's kind of like if you stop for a second in a run, suddenly the same speed could feel a lot calmer. And that's the same with your body. You have these things called Golgi tendon irons, and they're what tell your body, like, back off, you know, you're going to hurt yourself. And sometimes they just need a little bit of reassurance that you're not going to hurt yourself, to allow yourself to relax into a stretch. So always be okay about backing off. And then again, we're going to pull your hips back. You might have one side tighter than the other. So just pulling your hips back, heel digs into that floor. Back is nice and straight. You can see this is definitely my tighter side today. And I'm okay with that, it's fine. And then breathe in, stretching forward. Breathe out, take it back. Breathe in, stretching it forward. Breathe out, pulling your hips back. Coming forward, blocks or soup tins out the way, and just step back again. Bring your knees nice and wide, toes together, and push back. And we're going to do a little bit of work in this posture this time. So just literally stepping your left hand out to the left, right hand steps onto the left hand, and you're going to push your right hip bone down. And by doing that, you're going to get a nice stretch in your side body there. And just being okay with your head just relaxing and letting your hip in your hand. So the right hand is going to really push into the left. And you're going to really pull. And then lifting up, hands to the centre. Right hand on the outside of the mat. Left hand on top of the right hand, and the left sit bone is going to go down, and just relaxing your head there. So really just working into every single area of your body. And remember, obviously these are recordings, so if you find one area just needs that, feel free to just hit pause and stay in it a little bit longer. Hands come to the centre, lift up, and then we're going to go to roll on our backs now. So a nice few more stretches just to finish up today. As always, nice gentle practice, not taking too much of your life out. It's the gift of time and love that you give yourself with these. So pulling both of your knees into your tummy. Take your left foot down to the floor, and then you're going to reach up and grab the outside of your foot and pull your right foot and pull your right knee to your armpit there. It's just a half happy baby. And if you want, you can stretch out your left leg, not necessary. If that doesn't feel good to you, then don't. Deep breath in. Long breath out, and you'll really feel this in the back of your hamstring and in a completely different area. And just make sure that both of your hips here are staying flat to the pad. Lovely. Then you're going to bend your left knee, place that right foot on top of your left knee, and gently push into the inside of your right knee. And then you're going to lift your left leg up, so you've pulled your foot towards you. Lift your head and just take hold of the back of your hamstrings, or if it's in you today, the front of your knee. Few breaths here, just releasing that. And then taking that foot down to the floor. I'm going to swap over, so literally just bring your left knee in towards you, reaching to the inside of your foot or the outside, however you want to do it, whatever feels good to you. And again, just making sure both your hips stay planted and pulling your left knee towards your right elbow. And if it's there for you today, stretching your right leg forward. So mine's not quite there, it's a little bit there. Now bring your right foot to the floor, placing the left foot on top of that right knee, opening out your left knee, lifting your right leg towards you, which will obviously bring your left foot towards you, lifting yourself up, taking hold of the back of your leg or the front of your knee. Just a few breaths here. Releasing that down. And like we did seated, all I want you to do now is just windscreen wiper your knees, left to right, just loosening off and getting a little micro massage on your lower back there. Wonderful. Pull your knees into your tummy, give your legs a squeeze, and then however you want to do it, come up to seated. So rolling your shoulders, your neck to roll, left to right, left to right. And now you're ready to get on with your day. and hopefully you'll be able to go out for that, walk or run or your workout, whatever your busy day tomorrow. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this, and please give me a follow if you're not already.